What's up, family? It's your guy, Rich. Wait, why'd this start? And welcome back to the channel. And we're coming at you today with some more 21 Pilots, man. We have car radio. Is what we're going to be checking out today. So make sure you guys smash the like button if you haven't already. And hit the subscribe button if you are not subscribed. And as always, if you guys have any more request videos, you can either comment those down below in the comment section, or you guys can DM those to us via social media. The links to all of our social media accounts will be in the description box down below. But without further ado, let's jump straight on into this next video, guys. Let's check it out.
I ponder of something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate. They fill with fire, exhale desire. I know it's dire, my time today. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence. Sometimes quiet is violent. I find it hard to hide it. My pride is no longer inside. It's on my sleeve, my skin will scream, reminding me of who I killed inside my dream. I hate this car that I'm driving. There's no hiding for me. I'm forced to deal with what I feel. There is no distraction to mask what is real. I could pull the steering wheel. I have these thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
Oh. Wow. I know he had a barber on site for this music video. Like, all right, I'm gonna need that fresh cut after this video is done, because I know I'm gonna look a mess.
I ponder of something terrifying, cause this time there's no sound to hide behind. I find over the course of our human existence, one thing consists of consistence, and it's that we're all battling fear. Oh dear, I don't know if we know why we're here. Oh my, too deep, please stop thinking. I liked it better when my car had sound. There are things we can do, but from the things that work there.
So, I did do a little bit of research before we hopped into this video, and as I'm listening to it, one thing that I came across is making sense. The car radio is meant to be a distraction from reality. And for me personally, I think that distraction can come in many different forms. Obviously, for a lot of people who are, suffering with different things, I think a lot of people resort to drugs, a drug of some sort. And, I've spoken in previous videos and I've always said that, at least for me, I feel like I'm a pretty logical thinker. And for me, and I've never personally dealt with, any kind of mental issues or anything like that. I've been blessed to not have experienced that. I have thoughts on why that may be, but we're not gonna get into that right now. But for me personally, and that's just for me, I can't speak for anyone else, obviously, because we all are different, we all are unique, and that's kind of what makes us human beings. But for me personally, if I were to ever, be going through a hard time or a tough time, I wouldn't ever resort to drugs, simply because I've seen thousands, and I'm sure millions have tried, that route, and I have yet to hear a success story. I have yet to hear the story where, I don't know, hey, Rich, was suffering with depression, and, through becoming an alcoholic, he was able to become this huge success story. Like, you don't hear that because it never happens. Drugs do not solve problems. If anything, they make the problem worse. Because now not only are you suffering with this, mental illness or this issue, now you've added on a drug addiction of some sort. So if anything, it just magnifies the problem. Yeah, maybe for the moment, maybe the problem disappears. Maybe. But the moment that shit is gone, that high, that, that feeling of being drunk, whatever, the moment that's gone, it all floods back. And not only does that come back, but now you've got an added issue of being an alcoholic or being an addict to heroin or meth or whatever the case is. So I think it's important that, we come to that realization that drugs never work. Never have, and they never will. I think it's important that, especially now that it's become more accepted, where I grew up, you were kind of shunned, you were kind of looked down upon and laughed at, you know what I mean? Like if you ever were seen as being crazy, I think society has changed from that, obviously. So I think it's important that, we find the right people to talk to in those times, in those situations. I'm pretty sure there's even a free hotline. I don't have the hotline available, but I'm pretty sure there's a free hotline that you can call to talk to someone. Because at the end of the day, I think that's the only method of help, because the only true method to help someone without terrible side effects like using drugs or something, or find a hobby, start going to the gym. For me, gym is kind of like a therapy session, it's kind of like a quiet place. I have some noise canceling headphones, especially in the wintertime. I can put my hood up, have my headphones on, and I'm just in my own world. It's just me and the weights. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a therapy session, I guess you could say. Maybe you could pick that up. Start hitting the gym. I mean, it's beneficial, and you possibly could, escape from whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just throwing out things, but let's jump back in. I've talked enough.
From only two, and from the two that we choose to do, peace will win and fear will lose. There's faith and there's sleep. We need to pick one, please, because faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. And I will try with every rhyme to come across like I am dying to let you know you need to try to think. I have these thoughts so often I had to replace that slot with what I once bought, cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
That's wild, son.
I ponder of something great. My lungs will fill and then deflate. They fill with fire, exhale desire. I know
Fire
it's
and
dire,
desire.
no time today.
I just posted a pic on Instagram with the caption Fire
I
and
have these
Desire.
thoughts so often I ought to replace that slot with what I once bought. Cause somebody stole my car radio and now I just sit in silence.
He fell off the back of the stage. That was crazy. Another thing is, I think we need to get out of the space, and this is just me talking. You know, these are just my little thoughts, my little tidbits. You know, obviously, you know, I can't speak for everyone. So whenever I say something, I'm not speaking for everyone. But for me personally, I found that facing a problem head on is the best way to deal with it. You know, running from something and trying to avoid it, it never works. At least not from my experience. You know, I haven't been on this earth very long. Been on this earth 25 great years. And in my 25 years, you know, running from a problem never does any good. You know, facing the problem, facing the issue head on gets the issue resolved. And that's the approach that I've always, you know, taken with anything, you know. So I think as a society, we've almost gotten used to running away from problems, running away from any tidbit of confrontation. I'm not saying that, you know, confrontation has to be, you know, fisticuffs or, you know, gun violence or anything like that, but I think you need to face the music sometimes, you know. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a beautiful thing, you know, being able to face a problem. For me, I'll say this and I'll close out the video. For me, in life, I find no reason to stress at all, and I'll tell you why. For me personally, and I want to emphasize the me part, because this isn't for everybody. This isn't like a cookie cutter strategy. I wish it was. And who knows? Maybe one day it will be. I don't know. But for me personally, I never stress. I might stress initially, like if a problem arises, I might, you know, in that moment, like that first 5 seconds or so, I might be like, oh fuck, like what do I do? Like, what's going on? You know. But then after that, I'm good. And I'll tell you why. This is why. There's 2 types of situations in life. 2. There's situations you can do something about, and there's situations that you have absolutely positively no control over. A situation that you have no control over is like, I don't know, somebody dying. There's no amount of kicking, screaming, drinking alcohol, smoking meth or crack or heroin or whatever the case is. There's no amount of that is going to bring that person back. They're gone. You know? And then on the flip side, there are situations that you can do something about. You know? For example, if you acquire a massive amount of debt somehow, I don't know, there's something you can do about that. You know? It's just a matter of taking a step back away from the situation, assessing your options with that situation, determining, can there be something done about this? If not, I'm not going to stress about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, does that mean being cold when somebody dies? Like, just, you know, like, no, like, we're humans. You can have emotion. That obviously death was an extreme case. There are other situations in life where you really can't do anything about it. And in those situations, if you've determined with 100% certainty that there is nothing that you can do about it, why worry about it? There's nothing you can do about it, you know? And this is the way that I look at life. If I know that I can't do anything about it, forget it. It's just how I am. Forget it. I can't do anything about it, so I'm not going to stress myself over it, because at the end of the day, I've already assessed my options, and none of my options lead to a resolution. There's nothing that I can do about this situation, so I'm just going to forget about it. Now, on the flip side, if I've assessed my options and I've determined that there are some things that I can do about the situation, I don't care if it's a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan, or a 30-year plan. I don't care if it's a rest of my life plan. If I know that I can do something about the situation, I'm going to start taking the necessary steps that I need to take to fix the situation. And if I'm doing that, then for me, there's no need to stress, because I know I'm actively working to change the situation. It might be a very simplistic way of looking at life, but for me, it works. For me personally, it works. And like I said, I want to reiterate the fact that, because I know some people are gonna be like, Rich, that shit don't work. I understand that. I'm not saying that's gonna work for everyone. I'm saying for me personally, it works. All right. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Hope I didn't talk too much. I know I went on like 2 whole tangents within this video, but definitely another great video from 21 Pilots, man. Can't wait to check out the next one. Let me know what you guys want to see next from 21 Pilots. Make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next video, man.